In the previous part, Uncle Chen demanded the professional change item, but Zhu King challenges him in a fight despite giving it. He is so furious that he even hurts the girl who tries to save Zhu King. Zhu King is confident that he can kill him because he has just killed a level 60 monster, although he rushes towards him to throw a powerful thrash of the sword. But a subordinate comes in between and rescues Uncle Chen. Now, Uncle Chen provides a shield for the subordinate and attacks Zhu King with the help of this shield. He gets hurt badly and hits the ground with a blast. The attack was an abrupt move, and he could not save time to figure it out. He notices a death spirit warhorse nearby that runs out of the shield. He gets scared and tries to escape, because he knows that he cannot fight back this death spirit warhorse. Uncle Chen already figured out the situation and activated the falling stars skill. A large fiery ray starts following Zhu King, who is rushing behind the death spirit warhorse. It runs so fast, but Zhu King cannot let it run away. Suddenly, the death spirit warhorse kneels, and the situation turns bemused. Uncle Chen is sure he is dead, so he orders his subordinates to find Zhu King's corpse and change profession item. However, he is stunned to see him alive. He appears from behind the smoke of a fiery ray's blast and seems aggressive. He surprises everyone by controlling the death spirit warhorse. He is riding it with a fire nearby. Everyone's eyes pop out to see him alive after this devastating attack. Furthermore, controlling the death spirit warhorse is an incredible achievement. He has received a notification that his profession has been upgraded to legendary. Now, he is a necromancer knight. The skills he has obtained are Death Frost Fire and Death Resonance. The Death Spirit Warhorse is the key to a profession change. So, Uncle Chen mistakenly helped Zhu King in changing his profession. He regrets his anger and sends help to the Zhu King. He changes the appearance of his horse into a more great mount. Uncle Chen is burning in anger and sends his troop to attack him. He counters the attack with his killer move. The troop is a boxer, but Zhu King is much faster than him in speed and strength. He activates the Death Fire Crash, which makes the boxer run for his life. He behaves arrogantly and asks them to remain alive, because he wants to play with his new skills. He wants to test his new moves and powers on these troops and Uncle Chen. Although he enchains his body into mighty fetters, Uncle Chen is still hopeful for his victory because they are a team of 3 high-level professional players. The boxer activates the ultimate endless limit against Zhu King. The other troop uses his ultimate skill Shield Bash Fairy Raucous Charge and bashes him. However, Zhu King bashes both of them at one time and they collapse to the ground. He has used the skill of Death Frost Fire, which is an evolved skill for Hell's Master. He simultaneously uses the skill Blizzard Hellfire. The bodies of both of the players crystallize and they die. Zhu King has earned 140,000 points by killing these 2 highly professional players. His level has been increased to 26. He crystallizes half of the body of Uncle Chen, and he starts begging for his death. He wants an immediate death instead of this torture. However, Zhu King is enjoying the game and introducing his new skill. This skill has just evolved and was named Death Spirit Summon. He activates this skill and orders the 2 dead subordinates of Uncle Chen to eat his body, who have now turned into zombies. He is laughing at the miserable condition of Uncle Chen, who is now being eaten by his zombie subordinates. This skill turns the bodies of dead players into zombies. The notification has been received, which states that Zhu King's level has been updated to 28. He has earned 150,000 experience for killing Uncle Chen. His incredible vampire set level reaches up to 20. Further, the moon shadow invisibility and corpse control have been updated. And Jair and the boy come towards Zhu King, and she calls him his father. He is so strong even after possessing the body of a human. The boy within Jair calls him the father, at which he gets a hard thrash and flies to the sky. Zhu King hates when he calls him father, although Jair can call him that because her father's spirit resides in his body. The boy apologizes and asks for help in killing Lai Jai, who nurtured him for selfish purposes. Zhu King recalls the event of his death. The boy reveals that he has a unique skill of copying others' skills, so he can copy anyone's skill by touching his palm. However, he cannot copy those higher than him, and can copy only one from each profession. He lately copied the limited skill named Death Dominate from Lai Jai. This is a rare skill, through which anyone can easily inherit a corpse's skills and attributes easily. He realizes that Lai Jai has been preparing him to slaughter after he becomes fat for selfish purposes. He becomes furious to realizes his bad intentions. And Jair also reveals that a player named Chen Hao sealed her powers. Zhu King becomes so aggressive upon hearing about this cruelty. They aim to kill Lai Jai, and Zhu King only trusts him because her daughter recommends him. Furthermore, and Jair states that after the death of Zhu King in dungeon, players slaughtered many people. He realizes that his dungeon had been raided, and the rest of the players have escaped to the human world. And Jair states that his father's dungeon was never sealed. However, it is needed to search for it. The entrance of his dungeon has become more difficult, and their current combat skills need to be improved to enter it. She also states that Chen Hao has been guarding the entrance. The girl returns to consciousness and asks about her uncle and the other 2 players. Zhu King says that they all are dead, so she is safe now. Instead, Uncle Chen hits her hard. She is still worried for them. She is freaked out after hearing the news of the death of these mighty players. She curses Zhu King for this. However, he is least bothered and lets her say whatever she wants. 3 days later, Zhu King meets his sister Xiao and takes her to the shop. On the way, he gets news that his updated change of profession has been spread all over. He is a famous personality now, but he does not like it, because he hates being the center of attention. Xiao wants to go to an amusement park, and they are busy chatting. Meanwhile, she hits a stranger, and Zhu King finds his aura much threatening, although his level seems to be 10. But his personality is weird. He apologizes and leaves the place. The stranger enters a prohibited place and asks about the Wild Wolf Gang's territory. The player gets mad at him and asks the stranger to move out of there. He insists on entering the territory, but he continuously restricts him. He punches him hard, and the player strikes the wall. In the next scene, the territory of Wild Wolf Blood is full of dead players, because some mysterious mastermind murdered almost 10 players in one move today. Now, they are worried about the continuous deaths of their players by an unknown player. They doubt that a player well known for his violet blood creates an illusionary medicine with the fusion of violet blood. This medicine perhaps kills all their players gradually. The whole place is covered with corpses, and the other players are suffering from nausea. They find out that the player who has created violet blood is an insect king Elchin. A father-daughter duo is talking about some unaccomplished tasks. His daughter is gloomy about not accomplishing the task. Suddenly an army of monsters appears there, and the father activates the god Saint Judgment. A lot of monsters are dead. Then he uses the Apocalypse Judgment and thrashes them with his spear. The majority of these are wiped out. On the other hand, a group of players holding a heart in a glass cube witnessing all this. They want to enter the human world, and the entrance is beside them. Their leader is waiting for them. On the other hand, the stranger who sneaks into the Wild Wolf territory admires the picture of a girl. He claims that he has found traces of the Park Elchin. He tortured a player lately and spits out the prediction of the coming of Park Elchin at an auction 1 week later. Scene changes to Miss Miyamoto and Zhu King, who challenges her to fight with him. She exclaims to be stronger than him. However, he is confident that he can defeat her. She says that activating her full power can destroy things all around. That's why she cannot use her full potential. Now, Zhu King advises moving to a place where no one is around. So, they find an open place and start the fight. She activates her full power, and Zhu King gets scared because he cannot hold her power. A huge gap exists between their powers, because an awakened player used to be much stronger than a normal player. Luckily, she activates the immortal state earlier, so it doesn't cause much trouble. However, he disappears, and Miss Miyamoto understands that he has hurt his pride. He recalls a group of bastards who may have become much stronger till now. She stops the attack, but then he moves away. He enters a human facility, and something mysterious happens to his body. He is changed into a monster goblin. His intermediate rank has been activated, and the mission has been started. The first goal is to find the Chimera's core, but he cannot use his attributes and powers, as his powers have been sealed after becoming a goblin. Although he has a map where the location of the desired object is marked. Suddenly a monster appears and attacks him. A fiery ball moves toward him. He survives the attack, and even after blocking all powers, he is still the strongest goblin. Now, he is moving ahead to find the object, but several monsters chase him. They never want him to find the object. That's why they spread in all directions to stop him from all sides. He hid in the bushes because his skin color benefits him from being green. However, Zhu King enters a mysterious place, and the map indicates that he is near the object. Suddenly, a robust and substantial player hits up there and welcomes him to the world with sarcasm. He insults his skin color and admires his strengths. But surprisingly, he attacks him from nowhere by introducing his mighty spider. The spider stabs its thorns into his body, and Zhu King gets poorly injured. He has become hopeless that he cannot survive in that place. However, he is very near to the object. The blood is dripping from his body, and the player calls it dirty blood and thinks he is dead. He leaves him there screaming with pain. Zhu King tries to reach the object by crawling on the ground, as he can see it, but it is far from its reach. The object is a bright luminous object right in the middle of the hall. Now, the poorly wounded goblin crawls to the Chimera's core and finds it. The mission has been unlocked, and he has to protect the chimera's core. Also, he needs to survive for an hour. In the meantime, 2 players enter the hall who recently wounded him. So, Ju King musters up his courage and attacks these players unexpectedly. They get defeated in the first attack, and Ju King fuses with their powers. This unique ability has been provided by the chimera's core, and its ability to fuse with anyone is remarkable. He wants to test this unique ability to fuse with monsters. Moving in, he finds a glass tube where several monsters are preserved. He breaks a tube and fuses with the monster. This works well, and he finds it amazing to get this excellent fusion power. This is an incredible achievement. Now, he thinks of fusing with all monsters and breaking the tubes. He successfully fuses their powers and turns them into a beast. His appearance has been changed into a horrific monster with large scales, mighty horns, and pointed teeth. As he has completed the mission in less time, he thinks of taking revenge on the players who beat him earlier. He bashes many players in one attack and transpasses his pointed nails at the player's body. Meanwhile, the advanced level player with his mighty spider shows up, but he doesn't recognize him because of the change in his appearance. Although his spider tries to attack him, but Ju King rescues himself quickly. He challenges him to survive his attack. The player thrashes him with his full potential, and he gets hurt. He wonders about his level, because no one has dared to hurt him. He finally reveals that he is an awakened player, and his strength is no match for him. After this, he opens up his sword and slits his body several times. He gets poorly injured, and he is also convinced that he cannot defeat an awakened player. However, he recovers his wounds instantly, because he has to survive for an hour to pass this level. The player is amazed to see the recovery abilities of the lizard monster in his body. He predicts that he has many skills, and his personality is worth dismantling and analyzing. Ju King turns a furious beast to hear his useless talk, and uses the Ghost Toad's ability against him. However, this ability seems like a joke, and he doesn't even care about it. Ju King decides to run and complete the time limit to survive the mission, because this is the only way. But amazingly, the player confiscates him with his potent luminous strings. The player throws the deadly destroyer mad poison to kill him gradually. The poison spreads to his chest, and he starts feeling pain. Meanwhile, he initiates a fire to kill the player, because he doesn't want to die alone. Dirt smoke appears and disgusts the player with it. He gets aggressive and initiates Pharaoh's curse, which enables anyone to deteriorate and die little by little. Now, multiple giant ants crawl to Ju King's body and suck the blood. The player wants to kill him and throws his final attack. In the meantime, Ju King activates his skills, and the effect of bugs suddenly vanishes. Also, his attacks start moving away from him. Ju King has collected all his information, and his attacks are familiar now. He challenges him to fight next time. Meanwhile, the time is completed, and he has passed the Demon King's intermediate challenge mission. Therefore, he has earned 2 rewards, the Chimera's fusion and the mysterious monster egg. He is now finally teleported back after a long and dangerous mission. The egg is with unknown qualities. He tries to open another dungeon teleport gate to get back to his place. Suddenly several monsters chase him, but he is not worried because he now has fusion skills. So, he recalls his 4 monsters from the dungeon. He wants to see the reaction when 2 zombies fuse, and they get into a stronger zombies. Then he decides to fuse all zombies there. The zombies king is level 28, and he greedily decides to fuse 2 monster kings. But the system crashes, and he cannot fuse these. Now, he decides to fuse the skeleton magician and elite suture, and a Choa's evil demon appears. Its level is 40, and extraordinarily horrific and gigantic in appearance. Now, he wants to fuse the zombies king with this monster. In the meantime, he gets notified that some players have invaded, and he decides to exterminate them. The humans enter, and they suspect that this place is only covered with ordinary zombies. Their dungeon raid notifies them of that, and they are here to gain rewards and experience. But they don't know that the place will turn into their burial after some time, because Ju King has ordered the zombie kings to exterminate them. They move ahead and confiscate them when they try to escape. They think the suture demon is attacking them from behind, but the Choa's evil demon shows up behind the smoke, and they die in the first attack. Now, Ju King orders the Choa's evil demon to fuse with these, and a new monster emerges with solid powers. The mighty gigantic monster belongs to the dragon's race and is a girl. Ju King is amazed to see a female as a fusion monster. He names the monster a mighty invincible heavenly demon dragon, and she likes it, but he calls her demon dragon for short. After this, he orders her to fight with him because he wants to test her skills. She is mischievous and controls his first attack very quickly. Because of this, he gets offended and uses the blood to burst to attack her with full potential. In return, she uses the dragon's roar. He flies high to the sky, but she blows him away with her control-type skill. Now, he is satisfied with her skills, and thinks he can defeat the awakened player by using her. Furthermore, he has gained 3 more skills because the dragon has been changed. These are Dragon Roar, Element Burst, and Unyielding. Dragon Roar can increase the accuracy of other skills. Blood Burst is a double-edged sword, and Unyielding is a life-saving skill. But Zhu King is furious that humans have stolen his most crucial chemical Xiaoyi, so he decides to find it again. On the other hand, Park Elchin appears on the screen, who is holding Xiaoyi, but they are different from the one he was expecting, and they are much weaker. He punishes his subordinate for not making him satisfied with the chemicals. He bashes pointed insects into his mouth, and his face spurts into pieces. Meanwhile, a Berserker hits up there and challenges him to survive his attack. He also wants Xiaoyi, but Park Elchin refuses to give it, and an incredible fight starts between them. The Berserker bashes him hard, but he survives the attack with his sword. Then he flies into the air, accumulates his powers, and bashes him again. Now, Park Elchin cannot rescue himself, and his heart starts pounding. He throws his axe towards him, but he escapes. He is amazed at how an ordinary Berserker is so strong. Then he reveals that he is now an awakened player. Park Elchin shouts out loud that last time he cut his body into pieces, but how he is still alive. He reveals that Berserker's hidden profession awakened condition is to tear into several pieces. However, he still manages to live and awakens. He activates his Fury War Soul Bloodthirsty Rakshasa and formulates a robust punch to throw at him. He survives using the Red Burst Shatter, but the walls perish into pieces with this potent punch. They start arguing about the Xiaoyi, but Park Elchin is still confident that he cannot get it. The Berserker's strength started multiplying mysteriously when he was injured last time. That's why he is so strong now. He is still looking for a match to Park Elchin, but he opens up with his ultimate move and introduces a strong skeleton that emerges from the ground. Its hands go around his neck, and he starts feeling suffocated. Meanwhile, a player emerges who is his raised dog, but he turns against him. He lets him die until he promises to supply the violet blood. Park Elchin wants to join tomorrow's auction and get his wounds to heal. On the other hand, the auction has been started, so Zhu King is here with Miss Miyamoto and Sister Xiao. Some equipment is ordinary, but some are precious and under strict control. Meanwhile, they see 2 female players fighting for a thing. Auntie Yi is one of them and Miss Miyamoto's previous friend. The other is King Yizhu Zen. She bullies Xiao, which infuriates Zhu King. Although she is an awakened player and leaves the place, Auntie Yi and Miss Miyamoto meet and greet each other. She congratulates her for being an awakened player now. She has a profession with support healing type, and she is the same age as Miss Miyamoto's mother. Meanwhile, she tries to snatch the sunset flower from Xiao, but leaves without it, because Xiao wants to gift this plant to his brother. She buys it for him, but their system needs to find it appealing. It seems suitable for nothing but medicine. However, Zhu Xin was curious about it, which means it contains something they can't see. They remember the words of Auntie Yi, who advises them to water the plant with his blood. So, Zhu King slits his thumb and drops his blood on the plant. It turns into a mighty plant, and they notice a girl sitting in his bud. Finally, the auction has been started and Zhu King enters with the dead body of Liu Yi. He shows up him as a drunk brat in front of the audience. He makes this corpse to sit on a chair with him. On the other hand, Miss Miyamoto and Xiao are searching for Zhu King. They bump into Auntie Yu and she teases Miss Miyamoto. Xiao gets offended and they initiate an argument. In the meantime, Park Elchin enters and threatens Auntie Yi for removing her awakened player badge. Meanwhile, the dark shadow goddess named Fujiwara Barley hits up there and motivated them to fight. She is interested in enjoying a good show for a fight, although a senior player forbids them to fight at this place. Park Elchin forgives Auntie Yi for being so arrogant, but he threatens her to take revenge next time. The auction officially starts. The first item is Special Equipment Aesthetics Helmets. It will enable anyone to attract all the area's damage for once. Some players consider it a death-seeking dangerous item, but Zhu King seems interested in it and plans to snatch it later. The second item is a secret weapon named as Victory Bell. It will enhance the skills of a player for a short period of time. Zhu King bids on this item for 5.4 million. And a random player thinks that he is rich. For the humiliation, he bid higher. However, Zhu King doesn't bid higher and the player bogged down in his trick. So, he must buy it now, which is too expensive for him. The Berserker reaches the entrance but the time for more entries has been stopped. He gets furious and his body turns red. On the other hand, the next item is Otta's ally's nameless demon sword. Its power is extraordinarily ferocious, but unfortunately no one can ever use it. because no one figured out how to use it. Two mighty players, the Profession with Barrier Master level 55 and Chaos Magician level 55 personally presented the last item. It is a legendary item called Sky God's Tears and can heal any player no matter how injured he is. Also, it can revive the life of a player just for once. Just then Zhu King plays a trick and places a number board at the corpse's hand and raises his hand to buy it. Meanwhile, Elchin plans to steal it, but Zhu King also commences his plan to turn the place into a dungeon using the corpse he called a drunk player. Chaos starts at the place, where the awakened players and Berserker also enter. The senior player calls the Louis awakened player, who is the owner of this territory after this chaos. But he is not picking up the call, because he is busy arguing with the player who released all animals from the zoo. On the other hand, Berserker reveals the dark secret of Elchin, who has kidnapped his sister for a long time. He is making a special medicine from the purple blood of his sister. This blood creates a hallucinogen medicine, and many players consume it. Elchin has been using the medicine to turn ordinary people into players and increase his combat. His sister is a monster, and according to the rules of the association, the monsters are just to serve the players. Elchin says that the player uses the medicine willingly. He regrets not killing the Berserker last time, and now challenges him to survive his attacks. Zhu King introduces his demon invincible monster here, and orders her to kill every player here. Zhu King has put on a mask and enters the fight to get the auctioned items. The Berserker is fighting with Elchin to know about his sister. Elchin challenges Zhu King to survive, and he is willing to kill him. Just then Miss Miyamoto comes in to save Zhu King, and attacks the demon invincible monster who was fighting for him. Zhu King's body is cut into two halves, but luckily has invincible power, so he revives his body and stays alive. Elchin has been unmasked now and gets the reviving item. The Berserker and Zhu King shake hands against him, because they both want to kill him. Elchin drinks the Sky God's Tears and now looks more substantial. He bashes the Berserker and injures him badly. He tries to make the Berserker's body his slave by entering a parasite into his body. However, Zhu King interrupts and moves towards the nameless demon sword. He breaks the glass shield and gets it. Elchin makes fun of him, as he didn't know how to use it. But he doesn't know that Zhu King is Oda's ally. He spreads a scary aura in the city, which is apparent to all of the players. They couldn't understand the huge black ray of energy in the sky, and this revelation is jaw-dropping for Elchin. He is super amazed to see the legend Oda's ally in front of his eyes. Zhu King decides to kill him as a gift, because he is now aware of his real identity. In the next scene, a group who is holding a heart in the glass box notices something in the other world. They notice a strong aura and predict that their king has been awakened. They must bring their king back into this world, and a player who is best at lurking enters it. Others are responsible for keeping away the players at the security checkpoints. They must bring their king into the player's world safe and sound. On the other hand, a wired sensation spreads to the whole world of players because they realize the presence of Oda's ally. They are stunned to see him alive, and his revival is a nightmare for them. The magic sword of the immortal king has been revived. The skill has been unblocked, which enables the player to get all attributes of the Demon King for 1 minute. The energies of the Demon King are so strong that a normal player cannot handle them. That's why the duration is small. With the passage of time, the time of using the attributes would increase. Miss Miyamoto, when realizes that it's Zhu King who has the spirit of her father, gets so offended. She runs towards him and tries to kill him, but Zhu King instantly stabs his neck and she loses consciousness. He has no time to waste on explaining the real truth to Miss Miyamoto. Elchin is still confident that he can kill Oda's ally, so he activates his skills and thrashes him hard. This attack is simply useless. Zhu King activates the skill Elemental Burst and punches him a blow. Alternatively, Zhu King activates the Frost Healer and creates a whirlpool to kill him. He is already injured badly and eventually dies with a last powerful strike. He bashes him with the mighty sword. Finally, he sighs his last breaths. As a result of this remarkable victory, Zhu King is now turned into an awakened player. He is at level 1 of awakened player, so he looks marvelous with a brand new appearance and a more potent personality. This is how the ongoing chapters of the manhwa ends. Click the playlist of left side to watch the previous parts. Also, subscribe to Annie Summary for completing 100k subscribers.